Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 59 of the Whips and Whimsy podcast. My name is Zenith. My pronouns are they, them. I'm so happy you are joining me here today for a unregularly scheduled episode. Today is a Monday. I usually record on Saturdays, sometimes a little bit on Fridays. Today is a Monday. What is happening? Well, I had plans this weekend and I wasn't sure if I wanted to give an update or not, but I have a lot of things spread out on my floor where I stage things for the podcast, and I would like to reclaim my floor and be able to vacuum. So I figured it was time to make another episode. So yeah, it is Monday. It is July 27th. It is almost 1 o'clock. I have just finished doing my accounting schoolwork for the day. I am on chapter 11 out of 15. I have to complete 3 chapters. 11? I think I completed chapter 10 today. I completed a chapter and I'm doing 3 a week to stay on schedule for my summer class, which is incredibly accelerated. Anyway, this is not a podcast about accounting. This is a YouTube channel where I talk about my knitting, my crafts, whatever else I've been up to. Lately, I have had a shoulder injury. I have also had some other things going on in my personal life. I've had some friendship shakeups. I've had, my roommate has also been going through some stuff. When she goes through stuff, I am in the trenches with her. When I go through stuff, she's in the trenches with me. So between that, it's just been a whole lot happening. I haven't been filming. I haven't been crafting nearly as much as I would like to. So we have a variety show today is what's happening. And also my lungs are mad because every day it's a different humidity point, and also I haven't vacuumed my floor in long enough, and so my lungs are just, we're gonna do our best not to be coughing all through this episode. If you've watched for a while, you know that I have asthma, and part of that is I just have a constant lingering cough. If you're new here, I'm so sorry. It's just part of hanging out with me. So anyway, I have so many different things to show you. I have a pig parade. Yay. It's a short one, but it is there. I have 1 finished object, which is also a huge win. I have 3 works in progress. I'm looking over here because I can just see everything I have staged. I also hung out with my friends this weekend, and she is also a knitter, and she made me some just because gifts, so I'm going to show those as well. She gave me something else, and it's off screen. She gave me a stitch marker. I don't think I'm going to get up and grab it, but she gave me a stitch marker, and it looks really cool, and Editing Zenith is going to put a picture of it right there. So I got those gifts, which is really awesome. I also, because I have been injured, took up a new hobby. And so I have 2 different types of watercoloring to show. I got a beginner watercoloring book, and so I'm going to show the ones I have done so far. I also have been doing a lot of coloring. My doctor told me that I could color as much as I want to, and I did not realize I had watercolor pencils until I finished my entire coloring book. So now I'm going over all of my old colorings and turning them into watercolor pieces of art, just by basically just painting by numbers. And then also, because I have been injured, I've been doing an absolute metric tonnage of reading. So I have, I think, 5 books that I finished since the last time I filmed. I have the book that I'm currently reading. I have 2 separate book hauls. This tote bag from Dollar Tree is completely filled with books. There's another new bookstore near me, and I went in there and I left with 20 books because they were all used and therefore half price, so it was $100. And then, which is like more than I planned to spend, but about what I realistically spend every time I go into a bookstore without, you know, a lot of mental protection. And then I also have 2 books that I got from another store. So yeah, let's dive on into things. Let's get it going. Today I am hydrating with some basic just water with a little squeeze flavoring in it. I think this is blackberry lemon. It's definitely blackberry something. It's from Aldi. Very basic. Let's do the pig parade first. I only have 2 of them. That's it. Just my little babies, but that's fine. Yeah, I haven't made as many of them as I would have liked. I'm at the point where I can now knit for about 3 hours a day. And because of that, I can spend that time on a specific project and actually get somewhere. But if I start breaking it up into little tiny objects and doing like one tiny pig and like half an hour on my blanket, then I suddenly don't get anywhere on anything. So my priorities on knitting are shifting a little bit just to deal with my injury. But those are going to go into my little jar that you can't see off screen. This is where I keep my tiny pigs until I give them away to people. I should not have done that. Now my shoulder hurts. We're doing great. If you're new here, I injured my shoulder by doing a really chaotic mix of too much knitting, like 8 hours to 12 hours a day of knitting, plus deadlifting at high weights. So between those two things, I strained my rotator cuff. It's not torn, it's just strained. So now I have physical therapy twice a week. And I've done that for a couple weeks, and I was improving, but now I seem to be stagnating and regressing a little bit. So I'm not sure what the problem is. My suspicion is that I also have cubital tunnel. I need to actually ask a physical therapist because Google will tell you anything you want to hear. So like, do I actually have that? I don't know. I'm going to seek a professional. The next thing is I finished this pair of socks. These are going to go to my friend Kaylee. Kaylee sent me like a giant plastic tub full of yarn last year, and I told her I would send her a giant bag of socks, and I'm still working on that. If I was not injured, she would have like 6 pairs done by now, but I am. So she has this plus another pair I showed in past episodes. So yeah, this is 2 scrap yarns. I don't remember what this one is. I know that I came from Blue Barn Fiber, which is my favorite Nindy dyer. And I know that the contrast color is Stroll in the color Navy. I do kind of like a standard vanilla sock, 56 stitches on size 1.5 flexi flips, 10 rounds of ribbing. I did 2x2 in this case, 30 rounds for legs, slip stitch heel, regular foot, square toe. They're all good. So that's these, they're done. And then onto whips. The one that you've seen before is in my summer sock bag. And these are my Premier Fruits in the color grape. These are going to be for my mom. And I have one completed sock. I was so close to done on these, but the acrylic yarn is like 1% harder on my hands than working with wool. But because my hands are a mess, my shoulder is a mess, basically my entire arms are a mess. Because it's 1% more difficult, I just am not working on these right now. But I have the first one here, and I have my little jellyfish on the toe from the last time that I showed it. I think that's a jellyfish. That's not a jellyfish. I have a little swirly guy on my toe. And my mom has very tiny feet, which is why it's so small. And the second one, I think I have like 5 rows left in the gusset to do. And like this could be done in 3.5 to 4 hours. I'm going to hold this with this arm. These are me like, how many times am I going to forget that I'm injured while filming? Let's keep a tally. Take some water every time I injure myself. Anyway, these would take like 4 hours to finish. It's just 4 hours that I don't want to spend on these at the moment. So yeah, that's how those are going. When these are finished, I am going to give these to my mom. I just realized there's 2 stitch markers on here. I'm assuming this is the last time they were shown on the podcast, and this is how far I got when I was injured. This is going to be such an interesting episode. Anyway, yeah, those are my socks. And when I complete those, I will be done with my mom's gifts for her birthday and Christmas. My mom's birthday is the same week as Christmas. So functionally, I just always remind myself that she needs 2 Christmas presents, and then I just pick one to give her on her birthday and one for Christmas. But I already have that one ready. Do I remember what it is? No. But that's okay. Speaking of Christmas, in this bag, I cast on a pair of Christmas in July socks. Are they going to be done in July? Probably not. Maybe. But functionally, probably not. There's like 4 days left in July. Not even, because it's already the 27th. So I cast on Tiny Human Knits Carols in the Snow. I bought this last summer. This is the first one. It's not really traditional Christmassy. It's more of like a winter wonderland Christmas. I love it. I showed it to one of my friends yesterday and she said it matches the bag. So now you can see it with the bag at the same time. Ah, they're cool. And so I have the first sock done, and then yesterday I did the second cuff, and then I stopped. It is very easy for me in my injured state to break up the parts of the knitting into like, today I'm just going to do the cuff. Today I'm just going to do the leg, or I'm just going to do the heel or the gusset. The foot itself, I think I try to save it for a day that I'm feeling better and I can do like all 3 hours, because then I can usually do like the foot and toe and it's like about that range, because I don't count the foot. Like, I count the total rows needed for the foot, including the gusset, but I do the gusset separately. So the first 22 rows of the foot are already done. And then I count, if I switch colors especially, 5 rows before the toe is when I actually switch. So, like, if I'm doing a 60 row foot, then functionally I'm only doing 30 rows. And I can do about 10 rows in half an hour, like pretty standard. I do have to I do have to time myself in 30-minute increments and stop and move around every half hour. So, which I used to do more often and then got out of the habit. And now I'm like, I have to. Cool. Anyway, those are my Carols in the Snow socks. These are still just my standard vanilla pattern. That is all I feel like doing. I know I've talked in the past about how I'm trying to knit through my pattern book. I don't know if I talked about this, but I was considering submitting socks to my local state fair and doing like a really cool pattern of some kind for those. And that submission is due in September. I don't have socks that I haven't worn that I could, like, that I would deem submission worthy. So I think I'm just gonna kind of give that up and make that a 2027 goal. But yeah, I have this one done and I think it's really cute and I like it a lot. So I'm gonna drink some water. You can drink some water with me if you want to stay hydrated. I know I need to cough. Anyway, the next project is one you probably don't have on your bingo card unless you've been following from all the way back at the 12 cast-ons. Last December, I ordered myself an advent calendar that was Star Wars themed from Brazos Fiberworks. It is not my favorite advent in the world. It has way too many neutrals considering the variety of things inside Star Wars, but that's neither here nor there. I had been making kind of like a self-drafted wrap pattern and I didn't like it, so a while ago I stole the needles out of it and just knew that I would frog it eventually. And this weekend I was just thinking about my life and my projects and like what I want to work on. One of the things my physical therapist told me was that I should probably try working on more projects that have bigger needles. And so I decided that I was going to finally unwind all the yarn and start anew. So I started a basic shawl. It's still a self-drafted pattern. I didn't get much done. I did like 2 hours of watching telenovelas yesterday. I'm learning how to speak Spanish again. And I got this far. It's going to be fine. It's just tiny. I'm doing kind of corner to corner style, but instead I'm just never going to do the decreases, so it'll just be a big triangle. However, I did not want it to be like a narrow 90 degrees. I wanted it to be wider. So the way that I'm doing it is I'm doing knit one, knit forward, back, forward, go all the way across the row, slip the last stitch, turn it, knit one, knit forward, back, forward, all the way across the row, garter forever. Has a really, really nice edge. I really like the edging. And yeah, it kind of looks like an amoeba right now, but it's going to be fine. I'm not sure when I block it whether I'll try to like make this part straight and have it be the top, or whether I'll let it be the bottom, because I could really kind of go either way when I block it. This one is one that I used in my original, so it is a little ramen noodly. But I've also rearranged all the yarns. I took them out of order and redid it. And I had to do it like neutral color, non-neutral color, neutral color, non-neutral color. So in my box of yarn, it's going to go this way. And I'm going this direction across from top row, and then second, third, fourth, fifth row. Now you can actually see all of them. And there's 24 colors in here, so it's going to be pretty big. I'm using a size 8 needle, and I'm holding the yarn double so that it actually... Take a drink if you're taking a drink every time I injure myself. God help us all. But yeah, it's going to be huge and massive and squishy. The texture is so squishy. And yeah, I'm very excited. I do have... The Advent came with Darth Vader stitch stoppers. And it also came with a Yoda progress keeper, but I haven't added it yet because I hadn't shown it yet. So yeah. And in my bag, I'm only keeping 1 yarn at a time so I can keep the rest kind of like in order. But my plan is to work on that while I'm watching my telenovela, which is teaching me Spanish every day. I'm watching El Señor de los Cielos. I'm so bad at my pronunciation, so don't judge me. I'm doing my best. Anyway, that wraps up all of my knitting. However, I have a friend, her name is Mish, and she is a knitter. And she knit me some things. She knit me this little cow. I think I gave her this yarn. I think it was like leftover for something and I just gave it to her. And then she made me this little like miniature cowl. So it just goes on and it's like this. I'm not sure if I will use it because usually when I wear cowls, I want them to be a little bit tighter and I want to wear them over my nose like a gaiter so that I can wear them like when I'm out shoveling snow or like when my nose is cold. My winter thing is I cannot deal with my nose being cold at all. Like that is the worst. And so I think what I might do with this instead, because I think it looks kind of cute as kind of like an earmuff, but it's a little bit loose on the side. So I think I might like put in a little crochet stitch just to tighten it up and just wear it like this. I think this is what I might do. Because then I think I would get a lot of use out of it. I like the color of it a lot. It's very, very soft and squishy and good. But I would not wear it as a cowl. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to edit it and then wear it and then think of her constantly. And the other thing she made me was she made me a worry star. My hair's on that. So she made me this little 5-pointed worry star. It's very cute. I think it's crochet. And you just squish it, and it's just a little star that you squish, and it makes you feel better. And I love it. I love it so much. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'm really happy I have it. And that is all of the knitting stuff. So, the next thing on my list is watercolors. So, we're going to start with the watercolor book I ordered myself. I got this on Amazon. It was like $10. It's from DMC Sky. It's Lush Tropics. I bought it because it was listed as a beginner kit, and I don't know anything about anything, so I was like, this seems right. And what it is it's just a sketchbook of different, it has like the pattern on this side. I don't know if it feels like it's not showing up, but it has a very lightly drawn thing, and then it tells you how to do it. It tells you like which colors to use first. And then it gives you a palette with colors that are unlabeled and do not match at all the colors that they show on here. And they gave me 2 brushes. They gave me a bigger brush and a smaller brush. And they were like, go for it. So I've done my best. The last time I have done an art previous to this, like a visual art, apart from like knitting or like, yeah, knitting fiber stuff. Cause like that is also art, but this is more of like a visual art than like a tactile art. The last time I did like traditional art was like elementary school maybe, because I never took art classes unless I had to. So this is not my forte. And so the first 2 I did, I removed them from the book and then I realized I wanted to actually keep them in there. So this was my very first one. I don't remember what it is. Oh, it's a variegated monstera. It's supposed to look like this. I made it look like this. So I was a little bit upset about it until I realized that I actually really like this one. And then the second one I did was a philodendron pink princess, which is supposed to look like this. And I'm also very happy with this, but it does not look like the picture. So then we move on. Let me open this back up, sorry. Next one I did, hello, was the Fiddle Leaf Fig. It's supposed to look like this. This one I think might actually be one of my favorites. And then now they actually make sense in order. So the next one is Alocasia Polly. My colors are very off, but I think I'm doing okay. By no means am I, a masterpiece. This one's also one of my favorites. This is the Plumeria. I know I kind of messed up on the top flower by adding too much water and pigment, but I think the other two just look absolutely stunning. The next one is Hanging Heliconia. Also very pleased. And I think this is, I have two more. I have Phalaenopsis Orchid. This one I also might give to my mom. She loves orchids. And then this is the last one I've done so far. It is Torch Ginger. I like that this one, I put some texture in it. I think it looks pretty alright. So, yeah, I'm an artiste now. The next one I'm going to be doing is Anthurium. So, that'll be fun. But that is what I've been doing. I try to do one a day. They don't take me that much time. They're like 15 to 20 minutes. But I just haven't done it in a while. And we have cleaners coming at some point today. My roommate and I pay the ADHD tax up front, and we just have a cleaning service come clean our house once a month. And I don't know when they're going to be here, but I don't want to be upstairs when they're like trying to watercolor while they're like trying to clean around me. Like, they don't clean my room, I can just hang out in my room. So I'm gonna do that. Anyway, on top of that, as I was started that watercolor journey, I was going on YouTube, I was watching tutorials, and I realized that the color pencils I had bought at Five Below, they were labeled watercolor pencils. I assumed what that meant was that when you colored with them, they were going to look kind of like watercolor. That is not what that means. If you have watercolor pencils, they are not colored pencils. It means that it's watercolor pigment in a pencil format, so you can color with it and get really precise lines, and then you put the water over it and it turns into watercolor. So I have a selection of coloring pages from my Goblin Core coloring book that I got to do watercolor paintings of. This is the only frog I colored because I think frogs are really creepy, so I actually tore out all the other frog photos and was like, we're not doing that. I have this little mushroom guy. I didn't really think that hard about picking different colors, so some of them look like better than others in terms of like an actual cohesion. This one I think I might frame and give as a gift this fall to someone. I also like this one a lot. And this one, never mind. Some of them, before I realized, like before I like only was coloring with watercolor pencils, some of them I also colored with twistables. So I was trying to like watercolor over it, and I was like, well, that's wax. So yeah, I still have some more to do. I finished that whole coloring book, so I need to like finish going through it, but I don't know when. It's not the highest thing on my priority list at the moment. We're gonna do some more water. How's it going? How are you? I should mention I've also been working on my charity donation blanket. I could not be bothered to move it across the room. That's all it is. Moving things, difficult. We're gonna move on to books now. Yay. Yay. So many books, so many places to start. I read 3 books in the same series, and they were all stacked up in the wrong order over there. So, I've been reading a ton of cozy mysteries. I did read one book that is not a cozy mystery. I will maybe put a picture on the screen. It is Valley of the Moms by Hannah Selinger. It is set in Hamilton, Massachusetts. I finished that at some point. I don't think I talked about it in the last episode. If I did, I'm sorry. It's a work of fiction where this woman like pisses off the local PTO and then they kill her. But you're like reading it for like the creepy like psychological thriller of it all. It was okay. I didn't think it was fantastic. I thought it was acceptable. But I liked it because it's hyper local. And it's also very specific. Like, it talks about specific places in Hamilton. I thought that was really cool. Like, it talks about a bakery that I go to all the time. So that was pretty funny. Anyway, the other part from that, I've been reading Cozy Mysteries. If you don't know what a cozy mystery is, it's basically small business owners who either witness a murder or are accused of a murder, or someone that they know is accused of a murder, and they decide with the power of small town gossip that they are better equipped to solve the crime than the local police, and so they do that. And I love it. It's basically Scooby-Doo for adults, and I was a Scooby-Doo kind of kid, so I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I've just been reading so many of them because they take me like 2 to 3 days to finish cover to cover, and they have recipes in the back, which is very important. So I read A Call for Kelp. This is a series. This is from the Seaside Cafe Mystery. I actually finished 3 of them. You can't see. Hello. 3 of them. And it's about a woman who runs an iced tea cafe in one of the border islands off of North Carolina's coast. So they are very beachy and fun and a little bit spooky. And she like has this family curse that is basically lifted directly out of practical magic. And she has a lot of like love triangles going on. And she lives in like this old house that may or may not be haunted. And she's driving around in this little golf cart. It's so good. So I read 3 of them directly in a row, so I don't remember which one has which mystery. But I'm just going to read off the titles because I think they're fun. So again, I read A Call for Kelp. I read Closely Harbored Secrets. And I read Partners in Lime. Yeah, this one really angered me at the end. The like last chapter just kind of annoyed me. Most cozy mysteries usually have some sort of like romance plot attached to them, but it's not the main part of the plot. It's just kind of something that happens, and it usually takes like multiple books to develop, blah, blah, blah. And so this one is developing, but in my hot take personal opinion is that the main character, Everly, and her love interest are kind of in a toxic dynamic. Their communication is not great, and her love interest is very like emotionally unavailable and emotionally constipated. And they do not do a good job of communicating that with each other. And in my opinion, she just needs to like leave him alone and find somebody else. But of course she is not doing that, because why would she? And the ending of Partners in Lime, the way that they were communicating with each other and the things that were happening, like, I almost threw the book across the room, and I was like, we're not going to do that. But what I did do, there's one more book left in the series, so those are books, I think 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7. I'm sorry. There's one book left. I have it over there. It's called Pleading the Fish. I am going to read it. I just needed to take a little break because I was mad. I was mad. So the next one, I went back to a different series that I had started earlier this year. This is a series by Ellie Alexander. It is That's Unhelpful. I was going to tell you the name of it, but I got these from the library, and the library tag is on top of what the series name is. So I was like, let me check inside the book. And they're just like, these are from St. Martin's. And I'm like, that's a publisher. That doesn't help me. Does it say? Does it say on the back? Neither one of them says what series they're from. So they're from a series. And the series is set in Ashland, Oregon, which is a real place. And it is the home of the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is apparently a really big deal. So the whole town is just obsessed with Shakespeare. Like, everybody there is just Shakespeare is life kind of thing. And I've read the first 2 books. I think I talked about them last winter in old episodes, but I kind of took a break on them. And now I'm just in a cozy state of mind. So I just finished last night On Thin Icing. This one is fun. This one starts, introducing a love triangle, which I am not a fan of. The romance plots in cozy mysteries are usually like founded on a basis of miscommunication and people not acting like normal, healthy individuals. And that annoys me. That's not my favorite part of a cozy mystery. So I'm tolerating this one. I'm not as angry at it as I am with the Seaside Cafe mysteries. That might change in later books, because the things that were set up in this book, depending on how they're handled in future ones, might drive me insane. But right now I'm just kind of tolerating them. But yeah, On Thin Icing is the 3rd book in the series, and this one she is the main character, her name is Juliet. She goes by Jules. And she owns a bakery. I'm not describing this well. The series is about a woman named Juliet who used to work as a pastry chef on a cruise ship. She has done this for basically all of her 20s. And she and her husband, who is also a pastry chef on the cruise ship, became estranged. She found out some stuff about him and was like, this is really weird. I'm just going to leave. And so she quits her job and she moves back home to Ashland, Oregon to help out her mom with her mom's struggling bakery. And so they are getting things back in line, getting the finances back in good shape. And then she also keeps solving murders with the power of small town gossip, as you do in a cozy mystery. And so this is the 3rd book, and she is catering a weekend retreat for the board of OSF. And while they go up in there's a retreat in the mountains of Oregon during this record snowstorm, so they all get snowed in, because of course they do. And the power keeps flickering on and off. It's very spooky. And then she finds a body in the freezer, and so she has to figure out what to do about that. But in the meantime, her estranged husband shows up out of the blue, and then he's being accused of murder. And also the local cops aren't doing anything about the murder, but because this is a whimsical work of fiction where reality is a suggestion, she calls back to the local deputy in her hometown, who obviously has nothing better to do. And also he's in love with her and she's in love with him and does not want to admit it. And so he and the other deputy, who is also in love with her mom, because of course he is, and he's literally called the professor because he's obsessed with Shakespeare, they somehow managed to get up to this cabin in the middle of this crazy snowstorm, even though the local cops can't. And so the 3 of them end up, trying to solve this murder while there's this love triangle going on, all these different things. So yeah, it was whimsical. It was good. There were recipes in the back. We love it. The next one, brace yourself for this title. Caught red-handed. That's right. So yeah, I'm not going to read the back because I'm going to start this book today. I did put a bookmark in it, but I literally haven't started the first chapter. I stayed up late last night reading On Thin Icing. So yeah, I'm going to read Caught Red-Handed. And then depending on how I feel after that book, because I think the continuation of the love triangle is either going to make or break it for me. And whether she calls out certain characters on their emotional manipulation and their shallow behavior. Whether that happens or not is whether I'm going to continue with that series at the moment. I might just let it cook for six months and come back to it. And that is because this entire bag is full of cozy mysteries and 2 Star Wars books. This has 20 books in it. I don't know if I can, I'm not sure if I can tilt this in such a way where I can show you the insides without hurting my arms. It's books. I don't know if I'm going to unload all of them, but I have 2 Star Wars books. I have Tales of the Bounty Hunters. This gets cited a lot on Star Wars Explained, so I wanted to read it. I also got the first book in the New Jedi Order, which is Vector Prime. I've been trying to hunt down the X-Wing books. I can't freaking find them anywhere. So I think I'm just going to do Tales of the New Jedi Order. Anyway, I picked up I picked up so many cozies. I picked up 2 books in the middle of a series I've never read before. I picked up Hex Marks the Spot and No Rest for the Wicked. This is book 3 and book 4 in a series. Oh, A Bewitching Mystery is apparently the name of the series. This is by Madeline Alt. And it's witchy cozy mysteries. That's all I know. But they look fun, and also they're from like 2008, so I think they're going to be an experience either way. So definitely worth it. I have been slowly picking my way through Laura Child's Tea Shop Mystery. Yeah, Tea Shop Mystery series. I thought I picked up more of her books, but apparently I only picked up 2. I picked up all the ones I haven't read yet. I bought them. So I got, these are just in like completely random order. I don't even know. I like these ones because she's mature. She's emotionally mature. She doesn't handle any nonsense. There's no weird love triangles and drama. She's like, we handle things like an adult. And I'm like, I love you. I got Pico Most Poison, and I got Broken Bone China. I feel like I read this one a very long time ago before I was officially reading the series. I feel like I read it when I was like 20. If you don't know, I'm 32 now. So do I remember what happens? No, I'm going to enjoy the crap out of reading it. I also picked up, hold on. I picked up 2 different books by Ellery Adams. I picked up Breach of Crust. I picked up Murder in the Reading Room. These are 2 different series. I think they're just randomly in the series, but here's my hot take opinion on cozy mysteries that nobody asked for. I think when you start a cozy mystery series, it is perfectly acceptable to start on like book 4 or 5 because it may give you spoilers for what's happening with the different characters in the drama. However, the first book in literally every cozy mystery series is the same, where the main character is going to start a small business, and then like on their first day of business or their first week of business, they're going to be accused of murder, but not enough to get arrested. And then they're going to have to try to solve it themselves. And that's what happens in every single one of them. And because that is such a formulaic first book, and it has to be the formula for the first book, because you need to establish that this person is an amateur sleuth before they can go off and start solving other people's murders. Right? Like, and then by the time you get to like book 4 or 5, it's like they've now been established in the community as someone who can solve murders. And then they have more sway, and like they've already met the detectives, and they already know all the people in town, and they have a reputation built up. But book 1 has to be the way the book 1 is. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay to jump ahead, and then if you like it, go back to book 1. Totally fine. I also picked up by Laura Bradford, The Silence of the Flans. I think that's pretty funny. And then what's left in here... Oh wait, no, there's 3 more that don't count. These are all random ones, but then I also got a whole bunch in the same series. I picked up by Kate Carlisle, Ripped from the Pages, and A Cookbook Conspiracy. These are from the same... These are both bibliophile mysteries. I do think I think one of these... No. I was going to say one of them is the first in the series, but one of them is book 7, one of them is book 9. I am a monster, and I wrote the numbers on the back, on the spine. My other hot take is that I wish these mysteries put the number on the spine. I think that should be a standard part of publishing. Anyway, I also picked up Killer Takeout by Lucy Burdett. I do not know what number this is in the series. I read the first one, and I loved it so much. It's set in Key West. They're the best. Now I have another one. I will eventually get my hands on the entire series, and I will read them, and then I'll bring them back to the used bookstore I got them from and get credit to buy more books. Anyway, the rest of these are all the same series. This is by Lorna Barrett. I'm missing book 1 and I'm missing book 5. And then I have all the way up through 12 or 13. 13. Because they had all the rest of them and I cleared them out, and then I like rearranged our shelves to look nice. And yeah, I have not read any of these. I hope I don't. I hope I like them. because that's really going to suck if I don't, now that I have all 13 of them. So I'm not going to hold these up individually because that would be a lot. And I want to keep them in this bag anyway because I don't have room in my shelves. So they're going to live in a bag. But what I have is Bookmarked for Death, Bookplate Special, Chapter and Hearse, Murder on the Half Shelf, Not the Killing Type, Book Clubbed, A Fatal Chapter, Tidal Wave, A Just Clause, Poisoned Pages, and A Killer Edition. I love cozy mysteries. I love them. I love them, I love them, I love them. I'm going to throw these back in here. We are not done with our book haul, by the way. Because I also went to a different bookstore. There are so many bookstores. There's like so many bookstores near me. I love being in Massachusetts. They're just everywhere. I'm like tripping over bookstores. And I went to a different bookstore than that I'm in a book club for. And I picked up the next book club book, which is A Murder in Zion by Nicole Maggie. It has to do with Zion National Park, which I believe is in Utah. This one I'm not going to be reading for a couple weeks. It says, beautiful views, deadly encounters. Grief-stricken over her mother's death and bruised by her failure on her most recent case, Special Agent Emmeline Hellewell with the National Park Service returns to her Utah hometown to heal and regroup. She's determined to turn in her badge and take over her mother's bakery for a much quieter life until the body of a childhood friend turns up in the narrows of Zion's National Park. That sounds like a cozy mystery, but this is clearly not a cozy mystery. The case is too personal for Emma to turn down, but the seemingly simple investigation turns treacherous as clues that connect her previous case grow too glaring to ignore. When bodies start to pile up, Emma must track down a killer before they take more lives, venturing deep into Zion National Park to uncover the sordid details hiding beneath its stunning beauty. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. The other book I picked up was Yes, Chef by Grace Riley that just came out like a week or two ago. I thought that I already had it and then was like, oh, I guess I don't. So I bought it. I've seen it. I've seen it on the U of Tubes. I've seen people talking about it already and reviewing it. And so when I saw it, I was like, I need that. First of all, I love food writing. Second of all, I love chef romances. Third of all, it's mine now. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm checking my notes. I wrote really extensive notes. I did, in fact, borrow the same page that I used last time where all I did was write down the date. I think that is all I have. I'm going to stop here. It has been 40 minutes of me blathering on. It will be still probably 40 minutes because it's actually 42 minutes, but I'm probably going to cut like 2 minutes of stuff. But anyway, I digress. It has been good to catch up. That is what's going on with me. Life is lifing. Things are good. I've had some shakeups in my friend groups, but it's actually a very good thing. I kind of needed to do some weeding of people who did not belong in my life. And that has freed me up to spend a lot more time and brain power on the people who do belong in my life. And the people who are like truly ride or die and like just really, really great and wonderful people. So my weekend was full of hanging out with people that I love, including people who made me things just because. Yay. And yeah, my class is going really well. I have a 100% in my class. I don't love the textbook that we're using. I find it a little bit frustrating to learn things, but overall I'm obviously getting it. I'm doing great. So there's that. I have like 2 weeks left. It ends mid-August. It is crazy to me that it is almost August. Yeah, I'm learning a lot of Spanish. I'm using the Lingo Legends app. I think I've talked about that before. And yeah, my life is good. No complaints. The weather this week is fantastic, although it is going to rain for the next 4 days. I have a new goal to start drinking some tea every morning because I've been forgetting to do that. My tea stash is extensive and I need it to be consumed. And yeah, that's basically it. Just lots of reading, lots of hanging out, lots of schoolwork. And all right, I'm going to go for real this time. I hope you have a great day, great weekend, week, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're up to. I will see you at some point, probably not this weekend. I would be surprised if it was this weekend, but probably in a couple of weeks, I would imagine, I will give another update. Yeah. Bye.